The last will and the slowest burn. The sticky note on the refrigerator was a slap in the face. Your problem now. Signed by everyone. Mom, Dad, my brother Leo, even Aunt Carla, who only ever remembered I existed when she needed a favor. They'd vanished for a 2-week cruise, leaving me with my fading grandfather. They didn't leave cash or instructions. Just the echoing silence of a house and a man they'd written off. The next morning, I found him. Grandpa Elias was a ghost of himself in his bed, skin papery, lips parched. His medicine sat untouched. His emergency alert pendant lay on the floor. The guilt in my chest was a physical weight. I fumbled for my phone, dialing 911 with shaking fingers. A hand, cold and bony, clamped around my wrist with surprising force. No, his voice was a dry crackle, but his eyes were sharp. Look. Behind the loose baseboard in the study. Then you'll see why they'll beg to come back. I hesitated, but his gaze was a command. In the study, my fingers found the gap in the molding. I pulled out a small fireproof lockbox, its metal cool. Inside, the world tilted, a flash drive, a stack of legal documents, and a simple brass key on a frayed tag that read shed floor. The documents were a revelation. Deeds to a commercial property downtown I never knew he owned. Stock certificates for a tech startup that had gone big. Bank statements for a trust in my name holding over $3 million. My grandpa, who wore the same flannel for a decade, was a secret titan. The drive held one file, for MIA Play Me. His face filled my old laptop screen, his voice clear and steely. Mia. If you're watching this, the vultures have flown, thinking the carcass is ready. They stole from your mother for years. Forged her signature on loan documents that broke her. I have proof of every cent, every lie. He held up a file. The key opens the rest. Don't save me. Finish this. I didn't sleep. I spread the papers under the kitchen light, tracing a trail of betrayal. Aunt Carla had coerced him into changing his power of attorney. My father and brother had used it to siphon funds into a shell company, Crestline Holdings. There were photos, bank transfers, notarized copies of his real will, disinheriting them all. This wasn't an inheritance, it was a loaded weapon, and he'd handed me the trigger. The garden shed smelled of damp earth and motor oil. In the back, a rusted floor safe was hidden under a mat. The brass key turned smoothly. Inside was a leather journal, a detailed chronology of the financial bleeding, and a sealed pre-addressed envelope to the state's fraud division. The final page was a recent legally binding codicil to his will, naming me sole executor and beneficiary, witnessed by his doctor and a lawyer they'd never met. I returned to the house just as the front door burst open. Oh, you're still here. Leo smirked, dropping his bags. Playing the saint? Aunt Carla breezed past, heading straight for the liquor cabinet. We brought reinforcements. This doesn't have to be a downer. They moved through the house as if it were already theirs. That's when I walked to the living room TV, synced my phone, and turned it on. The first image was the forged signature on the property deed. Then the bank statements, the photos of them at the title company, the LLC documents for Crestline Holdings. The jazz music died. Leo's face went sheet white. Carla's glass slipped from her hand. What is this? My father boomed, but his voice shook. The exit strategy you didn't plan for, I said, my voice eerily calm. I held up the sealed envelope. This goes to the state tomorrow. Or you can sign the confession statements I drafted, return every penny you took, and walk away. Forever. You can't prove anything. Leo shouted. I clicked to the next file, security footage from the neighbor's porch camera, clearly showing them loading Grandpa. Silver collection into Leo's car the day they left. The silence that followed was absolute, broken only by the distant hum of Grandpa's medical monitor. By dawn, the panicked emails arrived. Family misunderstanding. Let's talk. I didn't reply. I went to the county clerk and filed the new will and the preliminary fraud report. That afternoon, the lawyer's letters went out, formal disinheritance, cease and desist orders, notification of impending civil and criminal proceedings. Leo came pounding on the door at sunset, a blur of rage against the glass. I didn't answer. From his bedroom window, Grandpa Elias watched, a frail king surveying his reclaimed kingdom. They called me dead weight, he whispered, a faint smile on his lips. Turns out, I was the anchor. That night, the house was truly quiet for the first time. No whispered conspiracies, no condescension, just the peaceful hum of the refrigerator and the certainty that the poison was finally purged. I opened my laptop to a blank page. The story didn't start with their betrayal. It started with their arrogance, the belief that silence was weakness. But some silences are just fuses, burning slow and steady until they light up the whole damn sky.